Bologna is the capital and the largest city of Emilia-Romagna. It's a fascinating city and vastly overlooked by the tourists to Italy, perhaps because of the lack of active tourism. Bologna is often called Fat Bologna or La Cucina Bologna because of its reputation as a gastronomic capital, and you'll see specialist food shops, market stalls and restaurants throughout the city. Of course, everything is as beautiful to look at as it is to taste. Bologna is considered second only to Venice in beauty by Italians. It also has a network of canals throughout the city, once used for industry. Bologna is also famous for having the oldest university in Europe, dating from 1088. The city is as packed with students today as it has been for centuries. Being a university city, there are many museums related to the sciences, music and the arts. Music has a very strong presence in the city, with traditional concerts in the theatre, clubs and inns. Jazz is popular, and there are of course many open-air concerts. There's an opera school, and you will see and hear the name of many a great musician or composer whilst you are here. It's been inhabited since the 10th century BC, during the Iron Age, when it was fortified by the Celts and became a municipality under the Romans. It was the first Italian city to have a council, and it was one of the first cities in the world to make laws abolishing slavery. The architecture of Bologna is distinctive in that it has over 38 kilometres of covered archways, or porticos, in the town centre itself. They were originally built by order of the town authorities to house temporary visitors, and had to be wide enough that a man could lie down under them to sleep. So the term Red Bologna applies not only to the politics, but to the red bricks and the red roofs of the buildings. The map here shows the old city in brown, with the old walls around the perimeter and also the 12 gates. Many of the old gates and walls are still in existence and interesting to visit. In the 12th century, Bologna had over 200 tall towers, or skyscrapers. They were built by rich noblemen who made great wealth through the wool and silk industries. The towers were usually built as status symbols. 20 still exist in the old town, which you can see as you wander around. 2 in particular, which stand together in the centre, form a popular symbol of Bologna. Neither is perpendicular, and you can go to the top of the tallest one for spectacular views over the city. The central square of Bologna is called Piazza Maggiore. There are festas and public meetings here throughout the year. Adjoining this is Piazza del Nettuno, famous for the fountain of Neptune. It was seen at the time as scandalous because of the nudity of Neptune. Bologna's City Hall is nearby, with a very rich collection of Renaissance paintings, sculptures and antique furniture. It's actually a 14th century palace and still used as the City Hall, so carry on looking around even if you see groups of Italians at work in the building. There's an enormous indoor staircase which was originally used by horse-drawn carriages. There are very many interesting churches, museums, palaces and other tourist attractions in Bologna, but I'll just mention my own favourites. The Basilica of San Petronio, beside the Piazza Maggiore, is a beautiful, grand church filled with magnificent paintings and sculptures. It's the 5th largest church in the world and dedicated to the city's patron Saint Petronius, who was the Bishop of Bologna in the 5th century. However, the thing that's unique in this church is a large sundial, in the form of a meridian line inlaid in the paving. The Meridiana was designed by architect and astronomer Cassini in 1655, and at nearly 70 metres long, it's the longest sundial in the world. There's a hole in the ceiling with the light calculated to shine on the line at exactly noon at whatever date it is on the calendar. Its measurements have always been remarkably precise. It has been renewed and restored several times since then, and makes this church a fascinating place to visit. The facade of the church has never been finished. The theory is that work was stopped, as this church might have been a rival in excellence and opulence to St. Peter's in Rome. The Basilica di Santo Stefano is an amalgamation of 7 churches, and also very interesting. It was founded by Bishop Petronio, whose remains are found in the centre of the church. The oldest church within the complex dates back to include 200 years of pagan worship to the goddess Isis, so a very unusual combination of different architectures. If you are visiting Bologna for more than one day and like walking, take a walk to Porto Saragozza and continue following more porticos for a few kilometres until you reach the portico walk of San Luca. The 666 covered arches marching up the hill outside Bologna to the Santuario della Madonna di San Luca. This church is wonderful, and so are the views. The arches were financed in the 18th century by the people of Bologna, and you'll see that the arches are named after the various groups and individuals who funded them. The walk from the centre will take about an hour and a half, so take a picnic or lunch in one of the 2 restaurants near the church. For car lovers, there are many car museums to visit: Lamborghini, Maserati, Ferrari, and the Ducati factory for bike enthusiasts.